You're listening to the Cheerful Soundman podcast. It's a show for event professionals about the adventures of producing stellar events with a smile. Today we're getting a cautionary tale from Eric and John on the harsh realities of starting your own event production company. Spoiler alert, it is not for the faint of heart, and we'll soon hear all about it. But before that, I just wanted to ask, do you have an Instagram? Because if you do, please remember to take a second and go follow us over there at The Cheerful Soundman. Okay, here we go.
When Eric and I first met, I was still very heavy in the field working, and Eric kind of pulled me out and said, well, listen, you actually do more efficient work letting the crew do what they do and not trying to micromanage and trying to focus on some of the bigger picture stuff. So it is important to separate the actual work and the growth of the company. If you try to just do everything, it's not possible. You can't do everything.
Yeah, which is challenging in the beginning because there's a transition period from like, hey, I'm just doing stuff. I mean, I went through this exact thing. I was just doing small band stuff basically in the bed of a pickup truck or a small trailer, and doing that, and hiring a guy or two, a friend or two that does audio at his church and knows a little bit. But I was still doing everything for a pretty long time actually, and then I was able to hire an employee, and then it started to change a little bit. Hired one more employee, it started to change a little bit. But I think the biggest things that people don't recognize, and again, kind of all your people being like, do your own thing, start your own business. What they don't tell you is it's extremely hard. It's very challenging on your relationships if you do start it. Very challenging. It's difficult to be a good partner in a relationship, and whether you're married or single and dating or whatever. It's just extremely difficult on everything because your phone rings and you got to answer it. And even if you are at the point where you have a couple texts on a job site and there's an emergency, you have to run down there. The amount of times we still run down to a club or different things to help out because everybody else is on job sites. Mm-hmm. And you have to kind of set up the rest of your life to have that expectation. And I would also say be leery of anybody who tells you that it's easy. And I mean, there's the TikTok joke of I started my own business, so I didn't have to work a 9 to 5, and no, I work 24 hours, And it's funny for business owners because it's true. It ends up, you kind of do it because I want to do my own thing, I want to be independent. But what I think a lot of people are not prepared for, including, I think I was prepared for it, but I know it was a challenge in my relationship with my wife for years, is I was not necessarily prepared for that aspect because I was fine with it, but she wasn't necessarily at times. Mm-hmm. So working through those challenges and understanding those are going to be challenges. Yeah. And at different phases in life, you might need that to be different.
I'd say the financial burden of it, if you're not coming from money, you're having to figure out how am I going to pay for all this gear. When stuff breaks, guess who's paying for it? And you're having to cycle your jobs and the money coming in with. It seems like in the beginning it's like, oh, I made $1,000, but hey, this amp just broke that cost $1,200. Oh, cool, I'm negative $200 now, and you still have to pay your employees. There's insurance. Vehicles, there's just so much that goes into it, and at the end of the day, the owner is the one that's responsible, and there's no one to complain to. It goes to you, and so if you're not cut out for that and not ready to take those risks, then it's not for you. But if it's something that you're willing to do and willing to work hard and do those 24-hour grinds and just be ready to be on call at all times, then yeah, go for it. I mean, the rewards are there, but it's just not easy.
Yeah, I would say in general, it's not for the faint of heart, or if you're someone who needs, and I respect this, it's not me, but I very much respect a lot of people need a lot of downtime, a lot of relaxation time to recharge and be good at what they do. That's usually an indicator that you should probably not do that and seek good employment with someone like us who will, take those larger burdens, and then it's more of a punch in and out, or you're responsible for your projects or those type of things. I think that's a place where people get kind of twisted too, of if you take it to the level where it's a business and it has to sustain you and or your family, then it's at the level where, again, you have to be willing to be thinking about it pretty much 24/7 and acting on it pretty much 12 to 16 hours a day. I mean, we're at a pretty good place these days I still have been, the last 2 weeks, I work pretty much 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. for the last couple weeks because we've been so busy. And I mean, I do take little breaks here and there, have dinner with my kids for a minute, but like I'm not spending a lot of time playing with them or doing anything right now. So that's definitely like a sacrifice I make and my family makes at this time. Now, we do at times have the freedom of like, you know, we can go on vacation for a couple weeks or whatever. And so there's other things that are afforded in there, but it is definitely, again, I can speak to the family stress and the relationship stress. Everybody kind of has to be signed up for that, or it's going to be a bigger challenge than the business itself.
Right. Since this interview started, I've got 19 messages to respond to. So
let me see for comparison
of, the time that we're having to put into this.
I'm getting pretty close. Yeah,
probably on the same thread. So.
Well, that too. Yeah. Don't give away the secrets. No. No, kind of the same thing, as well as, you know, I get people, hey, did you see the email I sent you an hour ago? I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm doing stuff besides my email. Yeah, I check my email kind of in the morning and again in the afternoon, and then I'll do it again later in the evening, but I can't be on my email all day. So things have to wait a little bit. And you also have to be prepared to be on your email all day because people send you stuff and they want a response, you know?
Yeah, the person that sent an email doesn't know that you have 15 other emails to respond to. So you have to treat every single email like it's the only email you have. So.
And you can't get mad at them. They're trying to give you money.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do? Be upset? You're like, stop bothering me with your business. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Cheerful Sound Man podcast. We really hope you enjoyed it and maybe even got a little something out of it too. If you did, we'd love if you could subscribe and leave a review on Apple or Spotify podcasts. That would really make our day. Also follow us over on Instagram at The Cheerful Soundman. Stay tuned for the next episode dropping soon. And until then, don't suck and don't be a jerk.